Assembly saw Duplessis become premier for the first time. He was no aristocrat. A supporter recalled Duplessis seemed most at home with ordinary folk.
Along the trail of the winding highway, old Quebec is seen at its most picturesque.
In Depression-era Quebec, Duplessis promised benefits country people had never seen. He would build good roads and family pensions, he said. For rural families, he introduced a baby bonus. For farmers, he offered low-cost government loans. Duplessis said, "Help yourself, and heaven will help you." Or the Union Nationale, which comes out the same in the end.
The finances were poor. The people were uneducated. They couldn't find jobs because they weren't qualified. So he decided he would do something about it.
Duplessis did more. He built a party machine that would dominate Quebec as never before. A colleague recalled, he seemed to want to be loved and feared simultaneously.
The corruption that was endemic in Quebec for years past was turned into a fine art by Duplessis.
Duplessis had once been a heavy drinker. Defeated after his first term as premier, he sobered up and returned to power in 1944. A Liberal opponent told a reporter, "It was a black day for us when Duplessis stopped drinking." Duplessis remained in office 18 years. He took to power like a fish in water, a supporter said. He had few close friends. A cabinet colleague wrote, "He was not an easy man to get along with."
I used to go up to the National Assembly and watch him, and if he didn't have confidence in a minister, he'd go like that. If the minister was asked a question, and Duplessis would answer the question himself. He ruled with an iron fist.
Duplessis said of his cabinet, "Look what I have made out of nothing." In the Assembly, he assigned one minister the chore of pulling his chair each time he rose to speak. A union leader said there was only one minister in Quebec, Maurice Duplessis. The others sweep the floors.
If he didn't like what they were saying, he would say in a loud stage whisper that they should sit down. You know, that's enough. C'est assez.
Duplessis had his caucus treat him to a birthday party each year. The preferred gifts were paintings. In time, the premier's art collection grew to $250,000.
He was obsessed by power, as far as I'm concerned, and he would take care of his friends because, you know, Duplessis didn't die rich, but his friends were rich.
Duplessis walked from work each day to a hotel where he lived alone. At Quebec City's Chateau Frontenac, he occupied a luxury suite. He started each morning with a shave in the hotel barber shop, and then orange juice that Duplessis drank by the quart. Friends recalled he was sociable and liked to talk baseball. And there was hockey.
One time at the Montreal Forum, he had me to come to his box for a reason. I knew it wasn't just for an inconsequential talk. And when the siren went to begin the second or third period, he looked at me and said, "Look, I'm the Premier of Quebec, and Mr. Diefenbaker is the Prime Minister of Canada. I have no right to interfere with his job. But would you tell him I'd like to see this guy made a judge?" Of course I did. Duplessis wrote out a nice check to my campaign in '58. I wasn't beholden to him, but the Premier asked me and I produced. Simple as that.
Duplessis required that contractors kick back 15% to his campaign fund. The party made a fortune. In one campaign, he raised $9 million. The contractor said, "I was told this was the way things had to be done, and I did it." The Chateau Frontenac was unofficial headquarters for the Union Nationale. Contractors stayed for weeks to arrange payoffs. The practice was so open, an opponent complained, corruption does not even shock the people of Quebec anymore.
Quebec was not a very pristine place politically in those days, and I wouldn't bet the ranch that it is now either.
Today you have the Reef Bridge, and this.
You didn't protest long. You want bridges, you want schools, you want hospitals, carry on, shut up.
But today you have the bridge. And this bridge will have to be connected with roads, proper roads leading to the bridge. And work will be started on these roads very, very, very soon.
All blessings flowed from Duplessis. If you wanted a road paved, he said, vote for me, pure and simple. And people found it in their own self-interest to vote for him and be rewarded.
The first car across the bridge bears Premier Duplessis and the official party, followed by the cars of visitors from many parts of the province who attend the opening ceremonies.
He was in rural, small-town Quebec, and he was supporting the local candidate, and he yelled out at the top of his speech, "You vote for my candidate, and we're going to build you a bridge." Well, someone shouted from the crowd, "But Mr. Duplessis, we don't have a river." When he said, "I'll give you that too."
Duplessis enjoyed making speeches. A journalist wrote, he would speak slowly, quietly, giving the impression he was searching for some point. Then his voice would grow louder. He would change to short, punchy phrases and machine gun speed that drove his supporters into a frenzy.
I was a young and very innocent newspaper reporter working for the Gazette. And my first view of Duplessis in the flesh was being sent to cover an election meeting that he was addressing. And then after the applause, I was about to leave when a gentleman came up to me and handed me an envelope. I opened the envelope and there was a $10 bill in it. And I said to him, "What's this for?" He says, "It's from the chief, thank you." I said, "I cannot possibly take this." After all, it was a bribe. And later, the other reporters around there said to me, "Never do that again. They give you the money, you take it, it's ours." So everything was for sale with Duplessis, and he bought and sold people.
At election time, Union Nationale rallies were an event. Cabinet members arrived by Cadillac. Voters were offered free hams or shoes or even a government job. Duplessis gave away 5,000 civil service appointments by his own count. "They only work for me," he said, "because they couldn't work anywhere else."
If you vote for Union Nationale, you vote for electricity, farmers. And if you vote for the Liberals, you still have the oil lamp.
The Union Nationale brought electricity to Quebec's countryside. Under Duplessis, 90% of homes were electrified, an achievement celebrated in government films.
You vote Union Nationale, the stove and the frigidaire will be replaced with new material.